welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right, well, let's see here. I got a whole bunch of stuff and nonsense, so let's get out of here. And very quickly block off that. And let's see, west is that away, and it looks like boat season to me out here. So we'll just start off with a boat and head on across, onwards to the FarLands. All right, proceeding onwards here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, the last version of Minecraft that actually includes the FarLands, and heading onwards, raising money for Child's Play charity, and talking and rambling and going on about all manner of things, leaving mystery torches all over the place, and remembering to collect some wool. Because I don't want to run out. That would be not good. All right. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. Moving onwards here. And let's see. Yes, it's been entirely too long, as in like a month or more, I think, since the last episode, or right about a month. And that's one of those things that I really regret that. I don't like that kind of thing happening at all. But sometimes it can't be helped. And in that last month, I spent a lot of time not feeling very good. And so that caused me to spend a lot of time taking it easy and focusing on more on recuperating than anything else. But I'm back, we're back, here it is, Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, and continuing onwards as we do. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, oh yes, of course. There is the traditional size of the world report. I've tried this in the past, and it's never really always worked out super great, but what if I can cut a channel through here so that I can continue to use that existing boat? All right, I have a water bucket. Good. A little bit of creative use of that water bucket. Should get me a nice little channel that should be boat friendly. Let me just go over here and get rid of that. Get back on the boat and see if I can navigate this 3-block wide channel without breaking my boat, which is sometimes a challenge because in this version boats break if you look at them cross-eyed or breathe on them hard, you know. But anyway, apparently I got away with it, and so continuing onwards. Love this terrain. That looks epic all by itself. Yeah, screenshot that sucker, just for giggles. Actually, what I should do is screenshot it without the HUD. Yeah. Anyway, moving onwards here. I say that a lot, don't I? Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here with not a whole lot of clue. Well, a little bit of clue. I do have a little bit of clue about what I wanted to talk about for this episode. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll go with what little bit that I have, and then after that we shall embrace the ramble and ramble on about, oh, hey, dungeon. I haven't seen one of these here now surface dungeons in quite a while. Okay, that's a spider spawner. Okay. The buckets I don't need, the string I don't need, the bread I can take and eat. You can have the sand. What's under this one? I'll take the iron, I'll take the wheat. I'm tempted to take the gunpowder, but I get the stuff so rarely that I think I'm not going to bother. And just for giggles, I'm just going to light this thing up. If I still had that last block of TNT, I'd use it to blow up the spawner. Okay, onwards, yes. Okay, how about that? I haven't seen one of those things in quite a while. And more useless crap to get rid of. Remember the direction I'm supposed to be moving. And move on. Alright. Well, that was a nice little start to the day. Okay, grab a little bit more wool, and I believe I should probably cut down a few trees as well. Yeah. Okay, one of the things that I have been doing of late sort of whiling away some of the hours as I spent so much time just basically taking it easy and resting and focusing on feeling better and whatnot, is that I decided to chill out with a bunch of Elite Dangerous. And part of that was in working on getting some stuff for a new episode of The Adventures of Harry Fenton. An episode which, by the way, should be uploaded in the next day or two. At least that's the plan. Of course, you know how plans go. Get out of the way, pig. Anyway, I've got that coming, and then once I got finished recording that stuff, which there wasn't a whole lot of recording involved, little bits here and there, but most of it was the off-camera stuff, you know, flying around, doing some exploration to get money and also achieve a certain distance from start point and so on in order to looking forward towards the eventual time of unlocking a certain engineer that won't even talk to you unless you've been 5,000 light years or more away. Yeah. How about I cut down a tree after having mentioned it? And yeah, so that's coming up in the next couple of days. And after I got the recording done for that and finished up with the off-camera parts of it and so on, I got back to Commander Tinfoilchef, who has, as you know, been on this really long-term exploration mission and got back to getting some progress with that. And now it's time to get progress with a elevated sleeping platform, because night approacheth at warp speed. All right, there we go. Pop that down, and so on. So I got back to that big exploration mission, and it is a big one because that mission left a starport on the 22nd of June, 2017. And and Commander Tinfoilchef has not been back to a starport since then. And he's kind of flying in a kind of a circumnavigation mode. He's flying around the edge of the galaxy with the idea towards circumnavigating. And the big destination on this outbound part of the trip is to reach a place called Beagle Point, which is, as I understand it, the farthest point you can reach from Earth. It's as far as you can get from Earth without actually leaving the galaxy. And it's apparently, as I understand it, kind of a I guess, what do you call it? A coming of age, I don't know, I can't think of the exact term. It's one of those things that you do that it's the kind of thing that most, if not all, commanders eventually take that trip, that long pilgrimage to Beagle Point, which is really, really far away. It's basically, roughly speaking, you start at Earth and draw a line out from Earth across the map of the galaxy, through the center of the galaxy, and all the way out to the other edge. And that's where Beagle Point is. It's way the heck out there. And as far as I understand, most people who go there take a somewhat direct route that is basically heading across the galaxy. Commander Tinfoilchef just decided to be a little bit different. And instead of going across, he started traveling out along one of the galactic arms. And that's the thing that is going, basically it's curving around the outside of the galaxy, around the outer edge. And it will eventually end up at Beagle Point. But it's a much longer trip doing it that way. And to give you an idea, I checked on the in-game maps before I started recording because I was curious. And Commander Tinfoilchef is at this moment approximately 47,900 light years from Earth. And that's a straight line measure based on the galactic map, on the galaxy map. And in order to get that 47,917 whatever light years from Sol, the actual distance traveled, according to the logs, is 68,000 light years. Because, as you know, routes are not exactly what you'd call straight. The stars are not lined up in a nice, neat, straight line from point A to point B, and so on. And so you end up having to travel in a much more roundabout almost random looking fashion, because you might zig left and down and left, forward, and down, and then the next one you might go right, forward, and up, and then you might have one that goes almost straight up and one that goes actually back and to the side one direction or another, and things like that. It's anything but a straight flight. And because of the nature of frame shift drive and the limits on range and whatnot, you really kind of can't do it any other way. And so, having traveled 68,000 light years, actually flown that far, he's, like I said, 47,900 light years away from Sol, our solar system, Earth, and his current distance to Beagle Point is 38,675 light years. So, of course, realizing that in order to get that amount of straight line distance, he may have to fly another 50 or 60,000 light years to actually do that. And that's cool. Of course, I do have a little bit of a goal in terms of that, and a thing I want to do. Because I read about something a couple of months ago. There is an expedition, a big one, a multiplayer, huge expedition, lots of players getting involved, on the order of several thousand, that are planning a trip that is supposed to start sometime after Chapter 4 of the Beyond update is released, which, as far as I understand it, is supposed to be late November, early December, in there, somewhere like that. And at that point, this expedition, which is going to be called Distant Worlds 2, will be leaving. And they'll be heading across the galaxy to Beagle Point and then flying to a number of other places on a rather long trip that, honestly, I can't imagine it not taking months. And it's really a pretty big deal. But what I'm thinking is that I think Commander Tinfoilchef wants to be in Beagle Point before the Distant Worlds 2 expedition gets there. I really want to do that. And that's going to mean traversing some 38,000 light years of space between here and there, or where he is and where that is, and so on. I would have had a graphic or two of the map, but I didn't have time to get it ready. I didn't think of it until it was actually too late to bother with it this episode, so maybe I'll see about trying to have that ready for the next time I speak about Elite. Yeah. And anyway, that's pretty much what Commander Tinfoilchef has been up to. Lots of flying, lots of exploration. According to a third-party utility called ED Discovery, Commander Tinfoilchef is currently carrying approximately 1.2 billion credits worth of unsold exploration data. That's the estimated value of the various and sundry many 30,000 some odd scans that he's done. Yeah. I have a goal there. I want to see how high I can make that number. Like, for example, get that thing up to several more billion by the time Commander Tinfoilchef actually returns to the bubble, to the human-populated area of space. That would be extremely cool. I can also imagine that having that much data could require spending several in-game days, several real-time days. Well, in-game days are real-time days because Elite Dangerous operates in real time. Imagine spending several days at a station selling exploration data, one page of 50 systems at a time. Yeah. That could take a while to sell. What is it? Oh, currently, oh, come on, Minecraft. All right, yeah, just what I've got now, 1.2 billion credits estimated scan value. And by the way, that estimated scan value does not take into account the fact that the vast majority of that exploration data is first discoveries. And first discoveries have a 50% payout bonus. So that's going to be pretty sweet. It may take a week or two to sell all the data, but it will be well worth it. And yeah, so that's what Commander Tinfoilchef has been up to, and it's what I'm going to be spending most of my free time, most time that I don't need for other things, will be spent doing that, because I figure to achieve what I want to do is going to take probably spending 4 to 6 hours on average per day just flying that mission. I don't doubt that a bit, actually. And occasionally going longer than 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 or even 10 or 12. All depending on how I feel at the time, of course. Oh boy. No, I don't want to go in there. So, that's what's going on with that. I figured I hadn't mentioned any of that for a while, so it was probably a good time for a little bit of an update. And, yeah. Well, let's see what else is going on here. Okay, let's see. ZDM1337 asks, how do you grow your channel? By growth, I don't mean in the numbers, but in how to get recognized. That can be a trick. And the best I can begin to say is the same thing I would say for growing the channel for numbers, is to just focus on making the best content you can, and that means also the best video and audio quality you can manage. And, you know, whatever the best is that you're able to do that. Focus primarily on having fun doing what you're doing, you know, and the best quality. And if you get the opportunity to do collaborations with others, it's a good thing to do that. Especially if the other individuals have larger channels and larger followings than you do, because that's huge exposure. And beyond that, like I said, it's the same old advice everybody gives all the time. You know, do the best you can, make the best quality videos, the best quality audio that you can, that you're able to do, and have fun doing it, and sooner or later stuff will happen. And I can testify personally that it is conceivable that it can take years. So don't look for things to happen overnight. It can and does occasionally happen that way, but for the vast majority of us, we get in there and we plug day after day, just working at it, and sooner or later, eventually, some long time down the road, stuff happens. You know, it's like I started making Minecraft videos in March of 2011. And, yeah, it's been a long road. But I've had fun doing it, so that's okay. I mean, if I had been doing Minecraft for the money, I would have quit many years ago. So, it's the best I can tell you there, really. And I hope that's a reasonable answer to the question, because I feel sort of like I'm doing the broken record thing when a question like that comes up, because really, that is, honest to God, the best advice I can think of for any kind of YouTube channel growth situation, really. Just do the best you know how to do, have fun doing it, and keep doing it on a regular basis. Being consistent is good. And learning things about video SEO is a good thing. Of course, you have to be careful with that, because you don't want to be seen as trying to game the search facilities. That would be a bad thing. So if something seems kind of gamey and not quite straight up, maybe you probably want to reconsider doing it. Yeah, because that's the way that sort of thing, you know, whether you're actually, and of course, whether a person actually does something like that or not, of the shadier, more gamier kinds of tactics, whether a person does things like that or not, and whether or not it can appear that they're trying to do things like that, it can sometimes be different things. And again, you don't want to be seen or perceived as using shady tactics. So when you see a video that somebody's talking about, well, you got to do this, that, and the other to get growth and success on YouTube, the first thing you want to look at is, when was that video uploaded? Because something like that that's more than a few months old could very easily be woefully out of date. And even if it is current and up to date, you want to check with other individuals about that kind of, whatever that tactic is, before engaging in it. Oh, come on. The boat down, not the compass. There we go. Because heaven forbid YouTube should decide that your channel is engaging in shady stuff, because you could all but disappear if that happened. And I really don't know what to tell you about where to find good advice about what to do straight up, other than what I've already said. I used to, years ago, I spent a lot of time trying to find out the answer to that sort of a question myself. because I was, of course, what I had been for a very long time, a very small channel, and I was trying to grow and get things moving, and eventually I just figured out that all I needed to do was to just forget about the fancy and probably often shady techniques and tactics and so on, and just make the best stuff I can. You know, anything that, well, like with titles and tags and descriptions and whatnot, you want them to be accurate. You want them to actually describe what is in your video. You don't want to one thing that used to be extremely common, but I don't think I actually see very much of that. And well, no, it still does happen, but a big popular thing back in the day was to arrange to have boobs in the thumbnail, because that would get you automatic clicks. The problem is that's not good. You want to make, oh, garbage. Oh, garbage. I need a hidey hole, and I need it right now because I was not paying attention to the time of day. All right. Oh boy. Rambling on and got caught out. All right. Let's get something up here with a torch. Get a place here for 2 more torches, and then start digging the rest of this out. And stop digging the doorway where I don't want one. All right, there we go. Okay. Final bed, and then get this out, make some more beds and some boats. Okay, and the wall. Okay. Beds and boats for the next day. We're good to go. I don't need anything else to be made up, so break this thing down. No doubt I have to get rid of something to pick it up. All right. Well, that looks like it's going to be just about it for this episode. And be sure to stop by tinfoilchef.com, where you too can donate to Child's Play Charity, a worthy cause that gets books and toys and games to kids in hospitals all over the place and makes their lives a little better. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.